Good afternoon. Happy Monday here. It's Brett, directors. Hey, just sending out a quick update to our whole database here, our clients, our agents, our pre-approved folks. So just a little bit of an update on the state of the market for us. So I'm sure many of you have seen kind of a lot of ups and downs in the media with everything going on with rates, what the Fed's doing. Now, of course, we got the election coming. So I wanted to help shine a little bit of light on what's been going on for us. So a lot of you guys have probably heard me reference the 10-year treasury note. Now, the reason for this is that's probably one of the best indicators out there of the trajectory of interest rates. There's a very tight correlation. So wanted to run through a few numbers. So April 25th of this year, the 10-year treasury was at 4.7%. That's kind of the peak we saw this year for us. Now, it drove down. If we look at July 24th, it drove all the way down to 4.28%. That's a big move right there, right? Now, again, since then, from July 24th to September 16th, right before the Fed meeting, another pretty significant drive down to 3.63. That's the lowest we've seen in a lot of years for us. Now, since then, there's been some turmoil in the marketplace. It's pushed up a little bit to 4.02. So we have seen a little bit of move up the last, few weeks in interest rates. But in context, let's remember we were at 4.7% on the 10-year note, on the end of April, and that had interest rates in the mid to high sevens. Now we're seeing it back at around 4.0% on the 10-year note, which has brought rates up a little bit, maybe to the, mid sixes or low sixes. So again, we've still seen a massive change for us. But what's some of the reasons? So I think for a lot of folks it's interesting. Hey, the Feds came out on the 18th of September, lowered their rates 0.5%. Why did the rates somewhat go up after that? Well, remember, guys, the market always moves in anticipation. So a lot of the movement that came down, driving that note down to 3.6 prior to the Fed meeting, was anticipation of what the Fed will do. They did come out, they lowered 0.5 point, which was great. But some of the comments that came along with it, primarily the fact that they were shifting their focus away from inflation to employment. That was a big shock to the market. Remember, the Feds have been hyper-focused on inflation for years. And now they're saying, hey, we're really switching gears to employment. So that kind of rocked the markets a little bit, as well as we're into an election timeline. We're now less than 30 days from the election. And as always, that's heated. The market's, up and down for us. So got to take it with a little bit of context. So at this point for us moving forward, what to expect? I think it's clear to expect some volatility between now and honestly the end of the year, but especially the next month just to get through the election. So the key events we have is election on November 4th, a Fed meeting in November 7th, and then another Fed meeting in December for us. Now, along the way, the new focus for the Feds is employment data. Now, last week, we had an employment report that was by far the strongest employment report we've seen in the last 6 months. So interesting to say the least that the Fed switched gears to employment, and then the very next employment report is super strong. So again, that caught the market off guard. So all that to be said, hey, I'm a buyer. I'm looking to buy in the market. Guys, it's still a great time to buy. Rates are significantly lower than they were even 4 or 5 months ago. So that's still great. And the trajectory is still moving down. Remember, any upswing or downswing is going to have ups and downs along the way. So if you buy now, I think it's still an amazing time to get in the market before all these other buyers flood the market in the new year. So I think that's great. Hey, if you're on the refinance side, guys, we're still watching. Many clients, it still makes great sense to refi. A ton of others we have prepped, ready to go, and we're just watching. A month will go by very, very fast here. We'll watch what the market does through the election. But once things clear up and the market settles, there's no reason at all not to expect the market can't still continue to move. So I think patience is key in this. We're watching it every day for our clients that are in that refinance queue to make sure we help them take advantage as makes sense for us. So again, I know sometimes in the moment it can feel crazy with things up and down, but if we simply just look from April to September and that less than 5-month period, we saw an over 1% move in the 10-year treasury, which was like a 2% move in mortgage rates. So no sense to not believe we can't see another, pretty significant move in the next 3, 4, 5 months as well for us. So I hope that helps everybody with a little bit of context of what's going on. As always, please feel free to reach out. Always happy to connect, talk through details, or help with individual scenarios. So thank you again for the time and take care here. Bye.